Good morning, traders. Welcome to this week's web class on how to use OVTLYR. I am your host. My name is Christopher Ewell, and we are going to be talking about lots of stocks. So in the chat down below, put in your favorite stocks. That way we can cover what you're looking at these days, right? I want to make sure that we take a look at your stocks and see how they are performing with OVTLYR. So let me go ahead and start screen sharing. And before we get started, real quick, this is my legal disclaimer. I always like to say I'm just a random guy on the internet. I have no idea what I'm talking about. And by listening to me, you do so at your own risk. So with that being said, let's move on. Don't you wish that you could just set it and forget it when it comes to the stock market, right? What if you could just sit back and relax while the world's best AI stock trading assistant does the hard work of finding trades for you, finding incredible trades, right? Finding those incredible trades where you just have to sit there and let them come to you. It would be just like if you could set it and forget it. And listen, I've traded over 5,000 times in the last 15 years, and I've traded hundreds and hundreds of names of stock. And OVTLYR truly is a tool that allows you to set it and forget it if that's your style of trading, but it also gives you some incredible amount of information and detail beyond just the stock price, but what's actually going on with investor behavior, right? And because of that, OVTLYR showed me the data that I had been missing, and as soon as I added OVTLYR, my results improved massively. So here's my personal portfolio. After I locked down my strategy in the second half of last year, I had a 48.77% return using OVTLYR. And I did that on only 24 trades. So the power of OVTLYR is pretty massive, and I love sharing that. Right. So let me explain how this works. The first thing with OVTLYR is the buy and sell signals, which help you know when to get in and out of position. So let's take a look at that. That's what we're here for. Let's take a look at these buy and sell signals. So let's go first to the S&P 500. And first, what we see up on here is all these buy and sell signals layered on top of the chart. And we're actually going to go through and look at what the performance was on those inside of this charting platform here. And the most recent one was a buy signal on January 25th, a sell signal on February 20th, which are these two signals right here, January 25th, February 20th. If you were following during that time, this trade would have made you about 2%, 1.9-ish% returns on that. So that is not too bad on just a random entry on these 2 points. Let's take a look at the last two before that, right? October 17th to December 4th. Let's go to the chart, October 17th to December 4th. So October 17th is right here. December 4th, right here. Perfect. And between those 2 points, about 5.4%, about 5.5% right there. And another 1.9-ish%, 2% right there. And so that's what it's like trading with OVTLYR, right? You can literally just sit and wait for these trades to come to you over and over and over. And we're talking on 1,600 of the most liquid stocks out there, all of them showing you the buy and sell signals right there on the chart. And let's jump into the comments here. I see several people with comments, and thank you for commenting. All right, so watch channel DE, a regular in our trading room. One of the benefits of trading with OVTLYR is that you actually get to trade with me every day at 3:15 Eastern time. We meet and talk about the market. We look at the market analysis. We look to put on trades if there are any that's set up from my style of trading. And we also have a section on mindset and what it's going to take for you to be successful as a trader. So he wants to look at Tesla, Apple, Hertz, and Lockheed. Let me get to the watch list real quick, and we'll take a look at those four. 1, 2, 3, 4. Apple, Tesla, Hertz, and Lockheed Martin is LM, right? Well, here's a handy feature with OVTLYR. If you don't remember, you can just start typing it in up here and it will actually autofill and say, oh, did you mean this or did you mean that? Let's see, Lockheed Martin, LMT. See, I didn't even remember and it told me. SJang106 says, I just did a test stock IVZ last night after purchasing OVTLYR. By the way, I purchased this by watching your stream. Very cool. Thanks for that. And as we go through, if you guys are interested, guys and ladies, of course, in getting your hands on a lifetime deal, which is actually going to be expiring decently soon. Once this lifetime deal ends, it will never be offered again. I'm telling you, it is a lifetime, very limited time offer as we're launching OVTLYR. Head to OVTLYRdeal.com, OVTLYR deal.com. You can get lifetime access for one really, 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 really tiny price. So let's take a look at this. Go back to the comments here and booking. What is booking.com's symbol for me? Is it BKNG? Let's see. Now, I will tell you, if you are putting on trades with OVTLYR, looking for stocks within OVTLYR, yeah, it is BKNG. And it comes up with the blank. That's totally normal because we only cover the 1,600 most liquid stocks, right? We don't want stocks that are penny stocks. We don't want stocks that nobody's trading. We want the stocks where you can get in and where you can get out in a comfortable fashion. I tell this story all the time, but one of my worst trades I ever had didn't have enough liquidity. And because it didn't have enough liquidity, I couldn't get in and I couldn't get out and still maintain profits on the trade. So liquidity is extremely paramount. And that's why at OVTLYR, we only have 1,600 of the most liquid stocks. All right, let's go through this list here. So we've got Apple, 300, let me make this bigger. Apple, 322.32% signal returns. And I mean, there's not too many in the last year, only two. In fact, we could zoom out to the max view. And you can see all these buy and sell signals that have come through with Apple. Lots and lots and lots of buy and sell signals and a 322% signal return. That's pretty outstanding. Let's go to the next one. They were asking about booking. Booking.com signal return 91.26%. Let's take a look at the most recent. We got a buy signal on February 8th on Booking. Let's take a look at that. BKNG. February 8th. Here. All right. And as you can see, it's starting to take off, right? It's up about $61 since that signal came in. And in fact, if you had even got in that morning, you'd be up $151, right? I like to trade in the afternoon, so I usually go for the close. But if you had traded that in the morning, because these signals get updated early in the morning before the market opens. In fact, we have today's signals right now. I'll show you a little bit. You could have been up $152 at this point per share, which would have covered almost two licenses, two lifetime licenses of OVTLYR with just one share. So that's pretty sick. Take a look at Tesla, 200.67% return on Tesla. And let's zoom out to the max view here. And you can see tremendous amount of buy and sell signals coming through, which would make total sense in order to return that 200.67% return. And oh, here we go. I think this was, Hertz. So Hertz is not one of the covered stocks in OVTLYR because it is not as liquid as all the others. So because of that, we don't cover it. And then let's look at Lockheed Martin. All right, so this one, only a 12% return, right? Not everyone is going to hit it out of the ballpark with 200, 300% returns, but we do have some that come out with NVIDIA 1,471.13% returns. Tremendous, giant returns on that. Where Lockheed Martin, still a positive expectancy at 12.83%. So still pretty good there. So that is the buy and sell signals right there plotted on the chart, making it super, super easy. Now, the next way that I look at it, which I think makes it tremendously easy, is the bull and bear list, which is shown every single day, updated every single morning before the market. And that's what I've been showing right here, this watch list, right? And let's say that you want to add some more to your favorites list over here, this is the bull list over here. So potential buy opportunities, the bear list over here, potential sell opportunities. Let's say I want to follow one of these, right? I just click the little star icon and it loads over here as one of my favorites. Now, here's where it's really set it and forget it. You can see a couple notification icons have come through on these because they got the buy and sell signal as one of my favorites. And I even get an email that says, hey, SPY buy signal, February 20th, time to get out, right? Hey, QQQ, sell signal, February 14th, right? Right there, just showing me, making it super easy. So if you have a list of stocks that you keep track of, just add them right here. And then you'll get the email to let you know, hey, it's time to get in, or hey, it's time to get out, according to OVTLYR. So I love that. Now, on these buy and sell bull and bear lists here, you can expand it and actually see some additional detail, right? Like the last signal date. These are all sorted by date. You've got the different sector that it's in, and even the last price, right? So maybe you only trade stocks that are, I have a limit where I trade stocks that are over $20 a share, right? So I wouldn't even be looking at this one. Whereas some of you may say the opposite. I may only trade stocks that are only $50 a share. So by seeing that, I can see, hey, here's two more that I might be interested in. So that bull and bear list makes it super, super simple. And this is where I start my day every single day, is coming in here and looking at these and saying, okay, what buy signals, what sell signals can I look at? So let's take a look at these 4 sell signals here, because they have actually ended a buy to sell period right here, an open to close period. So we've got ACGL, which is Arch Capital Group, which is in the financials. Having that up here is really handy. And if I want to follow it, I just hit the favorite icon right there. Symbol. Oh, that was the one I already added to my watch list. There you go. So you've got a buy signal, you've got a sell signal. And let's take a look at that. January 9th to February 23rd on ACGL. January 9th to February 23rd. January 9th, February 23rd. Oh, that's today. Yeah, so it hasn't opened. So it's the sell signal for today. Even though it hasn't opened yet, that is a sell signal for today. So let's just go off of yesterday's close. So from here to here, about $10 a share, 13 percentage points return on just that most recent signal. I'm not cherry picking these. These are the last top 4 right here, sorted alphabetically. ACGL shows a cumulative return, cumulative signal return, 209.81%. Tremendous, huge results right there. Let's go to the next one. ALV. So this is Audio Live Inc. in the discretionary sector. And if I want to add it to my favorites, just pop it up right there. Signal return shows 106.11%. And we just got a sell signal here. Let's take a look at that. By December 28th, this was ALV. ALV, December 28th. And sell signal February 23rd. Oh, that's today, right? So we're going to go off of yesterday's close. And yeah, it's a small winner. I mean, not a huge winner right here, but getting out without too big of a loss either. And that's the key thing, right? We want to make our winners as big as possible and keep our losses as small as possible. And during that time, like I say, signal return 106.11%. Watch Channel DE says, do you know a free alternative, TrendSpider? So they're asking about my charting platform that I use is called TrendSpider. I think it's really cool. It has lots of cool features on here, but you don't have to have it, right? Any platform, any trader, broker platform generally has some sort of charting involved in it. It's just TrendSpider has more detail. So you can use whatever broker you're using, should be able to get you there. APO, let's look at APO. Signal return 396.17%. That's tremendous. Let's look at the most recent buy and sell signals. January 19th to today. That was APO on January 19th. Whoa, look at that chart. January 19th to today. 12.7% return. $12, 12.7% return over that time, just on that most recent signal right there. 396% cumulative signal returns. And you know what's cool about that is, especially a one like this, where it's already had a decent run before we got the buy signal. I mean, coming from, let's call it $79 a share up to $96 a share before the buy signal. We've had people in the Discord, because part of working with OVTLYR is you get access to our community of Discord traders, and we talk all kinds of trade ideas and all kinds of support questions right there in the chat that we're already always on top of. But one person actually asked about Microsoft. Let's go to Microsoft. And let's go to the most recent Microsoft signals. So Microsoft shows 165.34% cumulative returns. Buy signal January 16th. January 16th. And they said, why are we getting a buy signal on January 16th? The move has already been made, right? The move's already been made. Why are we getting a buy signal here? And then it continues on. Sell signal February 7th. Continues on. And you're able to pull another $23, another 6% out of that, right? So yeah, there was a move made down here. And then another move was made right there, even on top of it. Even when investors were saying, oh, Microsoft can't go any higher, it still managed to climb higher. And not only did it manage to climb higher, OVTLYR took a huge chunk out of it while it made that second push up there. So pretty cool, in my opinion. Let's take a look at ASR. So this is the fourth one down here. ASR. We've got 36.84% returns right there. And like I say, not everyone is going to be 200, 300% returns. But the point is to be able to get in and get out and make some cumulative returns right there while you got them, right? OVTLYR gives you so many opportunities to do that. So let's take a look at the next section here, which is the behavioral heat map charts. I love the behavioral heat map charts. In fact, let's go to NVIDIA was one I want to look at. Let's go to Microsoft, I believe. I believe that was one that I saw the other day, and I was like, ooh, we should chat about that one. So as you can see down at the bottom, down here on Microsoft, it was actually dipping into the fear category, right? The fear category. And that's when OVTLYR came through and said, hey, now's the time. Now's the time for that buy signal. And then as it got deeper into the greed category, it hit that sell signal. And that is honestly like one of my very favorite things. I use this for entries and exits all the time to say, oh, you know what? It's getting a little bit too greedy. I'm going to get out. Oh, it's getting a little bit too fearful. I'm going to get out. Something along those lines could be a great trading strategy for you. In fact, on NVIDIA, we just got a big sell signal after the huge run up into the deep greed category right here. Well, deep in the greed category. And we got a sell signal almost right at the very top of NVIDIA. So tremendous returns on this at 1,471.13% returns there. So this behavioral heat map chart is available on all the charts, and it's just right there on top of the chart overlay, making it really easy to find and look at just how fearful or how greedy the investors are getting. But there's also the price trajectory oscillator. Now, the price trajectory oscillator is pretty cool. So what it does is it actually combines the price trend. Let's see, price trajectory oscillator talks about the different trends, talks about the behavioral heat map chart, right? So price trend, behavioral heat map chart, and the investor behavior inside of it. And in fact, the founders, Mahesh and Mark, were telling me that if you go out to the max view, you can get some really, really cool insights, right? Like right here on NVIDIA is one of the very highest ever sell signals that it got. You can see when it starts to curl back down, if you look all the way on the far right-hand side, you can see how it's starting to curl back down. That's saying that this is a very, very strong sell signal, right? So it may not be quite as obvious when you're zoomed in right here while it is curling back down. But when you zoom out, you can see just how obvious it is. And from the top to bottom perspective, just how high it has become as one of these really strong sell signals. So the behavioral, the price trajectory oscillator is a way for you to visually see what is going on inside and behind the scenes of these stocks, right? Another question in the chat. What are those colors on the chart? Red, yellow, and green. So these are what we call the downside and recovery indicators. So let's pull in here. And so the red is the downside to recovery, or I'm sorry, downside indicator, and the green is the recovery indicator. And then these yellow areas are like a yellow light, right? Like, hey, look out, be on the warning, because we might see the pullbacks coming really soon. And I'll tell you from experience trading this, because I actually put my money where my mouth is, and I trade this every single day. There are days where the entire market gets slammed with downside recovery indicators. And while we cover 1,600 of the most active stocks out there, I remember there was one day where 700 stocks all hit the bear list at once. 700 stocks were all like, it's time to go. So OVTLYR not only gives you opportunities to get in, but also helps you stay out of trouble when the market starts to reverse. So that's a price trajectory oscillator. Now, when you use OVTLYR, right, you can stop wasting your time searching the internet for the latest stock rumors, only to be disappointed when you lose money. All the rumors are out of date by the time you hear them, right, Radbeat? Thanks for making it this morning. All the rumors are out of date by the time you hear them. And that's where OVTLYR's advanced AI is ahead of all the rumors, right? They let you know well ahead of time if it's a buy signal or a sell signal. And you can stop freaking out because you sold at the bottom or you bought at the top. OVTLYR is here to help eliminate that as much as possible. And you can stop relying on expensive financial advisors who just tell you to blindly buy mutual funds. How many times have you heard that? You can't beat the market, so just blindly buy mutual funds. Well, we just showed several that were beating the market tremendously, like NVIDIA. In fact, we could look at Boeing here, 47% returns. So when you use OVTLYR, you can see instant results when you access the bull and bear lists like today. Like the market hasn't even opened yet, and you can still see the buy and sell signals that are coming through for today's session, right? And you can get started right away with this extremely limited time deal. And with OVTLYR, the opportunities are huge, but this limited time price is small. I'm telling you, this is very limited. We will be turning this off in the near future, so you need to get on it while you can. Right now, if you followed the Boeing trade, which I'll show you in just a second, you'd have made with just 100 shares over 86 times what it costs to get the lifetime license of OVTLYR. So what do I mean by the Boeing trade, right? So this buy and sell signal is, in my opinion, the best buy and sell signal that ever came through OVTLYR, because Boeing had this enormous run, and then December 28th, before all the bad Boeing news came out, before all the problems started, before their planes started catching on fire, before the doors started blowing off, before they just fired their CFO or whoever, well, not the CFO, he was the president of the 737 MAX division. They just fired him because their planes are not what they used to be. I'll put it that way. The good old days of Boeing planes are over. But the good old days with this stock trading here are just beginning, right? So November 6th was the buy signal. Down here at, let's call it 190, 193, it had this huge run up of 35% in the span of 36 days. So nearly 1% every single day, this giant run up. And then a sell signal came through on December 28th, which is within a couple dollars of the absolute top of that. And that was when all the bad news was just starting. And then it had a 23% sell-off. A 23% sell-off from this point going down. It had gotten in such extreme greed that all the investors who were looking to get into Boeing started getting out as fast as possible. And then all the doors started falling off the planes while they're flying through the air, right? And since then, Boeing has been totally wrecked. But if you had followed this, right? If let's just say you owned 100 shares, you'd have 86% return compared to just the cost of OVTLYR, right? Now you're finally going to be able to sleep good at night knowing that you've got the world's best AI stock trading assistant working for you. Now, this is normally priced at $69 a month. But when you head to OVTLYRdeal.com, that's OVTLYR deal.com, you're going to get $79 for lifetime access. Seriously, lifetime access, $79 one time, and this will be expiring soon, right? That's less than the cost of a Tic Tac each day when you consider the cost of the lifetime license. So go to OVTLYR.com to get a $79 lifetime license, right? Like I say, it's normally priced at $69 a month, and it will 100% be going away soon. This is not some sort of urgency and scarcity tactic. No, I'm telling you, like this, the plan was to offer it to as many people as possible for this lifetime deal. And then once this lifetime deal is over, which it will be soon, that will no longer be the case. It'll be back to $69 a month. So be sure to head over to OVTLYR Deal right now to get that while you can. So let's go to the Q&A section of today's webinar here. April, good to see you. Just curious, how much is your dependency on third-party tools, and which financial instruments are you covering? So OVTLYR, they pull all their data and they aggregate it and then put it all into one platform right here, right? Everything that you're going to need to know is inside of OVTLYR in one place. And financial instruments, we're covering the most liquid stocks and ETFs, 1,600 of them, in fact. Let's pop this open a bit bigger, and we can look at not just the stocks, but then the ETFs, right? We've got, like I just covered earlier, we've got the SPY, we've got QQQ, but any of your favorite ETFs, they should be here as well, like XLU. Let's look at these ETFs here. We've got IVW, IWF, IYY, SCHB, whatever you want to look at, more than likely it's here. And if it's not here, that means it's not liquid. And we only want the most liquid stocks out there. So thank you all for coming to the web class today. I am really hoping that by now you see just how important it is that you go to OVTLYRdeal.com now, right now, to get access to this deal. It will be going away. And when it does, you're going to really have missed out, because you could make back the cost of OVTLYR in one single trade. You could make back 86 times the cost of OVTLYR using it just on that Boeing trade, right? Now, of course, past performance is not indicative of future results, but it does give you some perspective on how little of an investment this is for you to take today, and it could pay off huge dividends for you for the rest of your life. Thank you all so much for coming to today's web class. I'll see you this afternoon. Like I say, part of working with OVTLYR is actually working with me in the OVTLYR trading room live every single afternoon. Have a great day, and we'll talk soon.